Hi everyone, Charles from Hard Work Martial Arts here, and today I want to cover how to hold a kicking shield. Now, there are a number of different types of shields out there, and the layouts are pretty much the same with a couple different twists. This is one of the larger person-held targets that you will see, and you can hit them with a bit more force, and they are intended to be hit with a bit more force. But a couple notes before we actually go into how you hold it. Remember that the size of the target also tells you how hard you should be hitting it. If I have a small target, such as a paddle or a square hand target, I want to be hitting it relatively lightly, not putting a ton of force into the target because I don't want to risk injury to the person who is behind that target. The same applies for a shield. While it is significantly thicker and has more foam and can absorb more impact, I still don't want to blast this as hard as I can. There is a person behind it, and I don't want to risk sending them flying into the walls or into somebody else, or risking scaring or startling them. So feel free to communicate with your partners if they're hitting the target too hard. Tell them that it's too hard, and ask your partners if you're hitting it. Say, hey, is that too hard? Can I go harder? Is that too hard? Do I need to go lighter? Make sure you're constantly communicating with your partners. Now, depending on the type of shield we may have, you're almost always going to have two straps back here on the back. Sometimes you'll have a handle on the top, like we do up here. Sometimes you'll have a handle here right above the other two straps. I actually prefer that one a bit more, but for today, we're gonna have the one on the top. And sometimes you'll even see some handles on the side, like we have here. The most important part is the two straps on the back. I'm gonna slide my arms through. Now, I like to grip my arm all the way through with my thumb grabbing that strap and holding firmly with my palm towards the shield. Now, this is not a necessity. If you want to hold it this way, that is okay. If you hold it this way, most of the time, however, what's going to end up happening is you're going to hold the shield closer to you. Now, when you hold it closer to you, there is less room for the target to move before the impact hits your body. So by turning my hand, I can hold it a bit further away from me, and now I have some space between me and the target so that it has more room to move, and I, as the holder, will absorb less impact. Now, once I have that, I'm going to apply my other hand. If there's a handle here on the back, go ahead and grab that one, okay? Whichever side I'm holding, in this case, my left hand is holding the strap. My right hand will grab. My right hand's going to be the one usually farther back, but I'm going to line myself up pretty chest forward so I can put some good pressure on the back of this pad. To make it easy for my partners and myself, I want to make sure I have a stable hold. I'm going to set almost like a horse stance or a back stance. What I mean by that is my front leg, I'm going to put it out from my body a little bit, and all I'm going to do is rest the bottom of that pad. I'm just going to rest it on my thigh there. That way I don't have to hold it up. This is going to make my arm very tired, and I'm going to get very exhausted very quickly. While a great workout may mean I'm moving the shield around, and my partner won't be able to work on their drills quite as effectively. So I'm just going to rest it there on my thigh, and I'll set a deep enough stance that I make a little shelf for it to sit on. My other hand is here, and I'll hold. If I grab the top handle, that's fine, but please be aware that it does leave your hand a little vulnerable, meaning if someone kicks and they come over it, they risk hitting you in the hand. That's why I like the back hand better, and a lot of times I'll just put my hand on the back of the shield so that there's a little bit of room for it to absorb. The side handles can be used in certain situations, but most of the time we're not going to need to use these. Now, depending on the technique, I'm going to hold from this position. I like kind of a front stance position. Some people like a more sideways position, but again, I want that shelf. I tend to have it at a little bit of an angle, but again, I'm aiming this flat section directly at my partner's hips. We're almost always going to be hitting this with our legs in this case. So I want to make sure that this is aimed at their hip line, not at their chest line. As it gets hit, don't fight the impact, okay? Don't lean into it, don't pressure into it. That risks injury in your body, especially if you have someone who's a powerful kicker, they risk injuring you. We don't want that. So what I'm actually going to do is let that target, it's going to absorb some of the impact, but while providing a little bit of resistance, I'm going to let that target come back into me. I'm going to let it bounce into my body. My arms can come in here fine, and that gives it some room to slow down, kind of like an airbag. Now, let's say I'm getting hit with something that's really powerful or has a really high depth of penetration, and this is simply not enough. That's okay. When it gets hit, I'm going to let it hit, and then I'm going to continue to let that absorb by letting my body come up. So I may hit and actually walk back a step to slow that impact down and then reset. If my partner is good, he will wait till I'm reset, he'll wait till I signal that I'm ready, and then he'll go again. So it gets hit, boom, and I back up. Okay, I say, hey, that's a little too hard maybe, hit a little lighter, okay, next time, boom, okay, that's pretty good. Or in some cases, it may say, hey, you can hit the target harder. You may even see the shield fold around the kick, which I think is pretty cool, but it does mean that that impact is solid, and you want to be very careful with absorbing it. Now, how do we hold? If once I have this position, I'm holding for a round kick. If you, from your position right now, are the kicker, this is all I'm going to do to hold. So your foot comes up, and it's going to strike at that angle right there. If I'm holding for something like a snap kick or a side kick, I'll turn and I'll point the front of the shield straight at them. Again, all I'm looking to do is take whatever the angle of impact is and put the face of whatever target perpendicular to that so that they have a nice 90-degree right angle to their line of impact. Try to make sure, to use as an example, if you're throwing a round kick from the position you're at right now, don't turn this towards them. That means their toes are going to make impact before the top of their foot. You can turn it away a little bit, but the same problem, they may hit with their ankle. So it's going to take some time and some practice to be a good pad holder, a good partner holder for whatever targets and whatever drills you are going to be working on. Out of the biggest targets we tend to use, our paddles, our square hand targets, and our shields. The shields are the largest one that is being held by a person. And we do want you to hit these a little harder than the other targets, but please, again, always remember that there is a person behind the target, and we want to be conscientious of them, make sure we're not going to scare them or hurt them, and make sure that they are going to be a good partner for us so that we continue to practice for years to come, and then it'll be our job to hold for them and be a partner so that they can practice as well. So that's how you hold a shield. If you have any questions on those, please let us know. We hope that helps, and have a great day.